Hey everyone, this is Ryan Mitchell with thetinylife.com, and this is a continuation of the videos I've been doing on Trello. This is just kind of the tutorial bit here, and we're going to get into more of like kind of how I use it soon. So right here, this is a list of all of our boards. Let's say I wanted to add a new board, and we're just going to call this one Life. So we got work, we got life, and to get back to it, you just hit Trello. Okay, or you can list it a quick view right here. I like this view, so I typically click that. So let's say I wanted to go into work stuff, and what I want to cover in this one is the menu bit here. Okay, so adding members. Well, first off, you can see all the members. Right now there's just me, so if there's other people that have been already added to this, then you would see their little icons there. Members are good for when you're a team or a group or something like that, you need to include people in on the mix. It could be a family, it could be a work team, it could be a nonprofit that you're working on a project together, whatever the thing is, right? You basically build little teams to then give access to different things. So to add a member, you basically just put in their email, and if they haven't created a account on Trello, you can invite them right here. Just the big thing is know what email they signed up. Like if you know they have a Trello account, just be like, hey, what's the email that you used for your Trello account? Because they could have used not their standard one if it was an old email or something like that. You can look up people by their email address, and then you just hit add, and then they'll get a thing, and once they've accepted, you'll see their little picture up here. Okay, change background colors. I like to kind of color code my things. So like blue I keep for my personal life stuff, green is for work, and then gray is kind of like administrative, boring kind of things. That's kind of how I do it, but you can choose whatever color you'd like. Then they have these photos. You can do little photo backgrounds if you like. I like standard colors because it just helps me focus a little bit better. No distractions, whatever. So you can change the colors there. Very simple. And they do have a premium thing. Honestly, there's never been a time where I needed a feature that was a premium. So even in business context, so it kind of stays free. Okay, so filtering cards. This is a really great feature. So you can search by let's say I wanted to find cards that had a specific person mentioned in it, or a project title, or let's say I'm a technical person. I could say like web design. It'll pull up all the cards that mention web design. The other thing I could do is it can filter by the labels. So let's just say we're just examples here. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay. I can put different labels. We talked about this in the card. So let's say this one's a meeting. So here you can see my cards. They've all been labeled. Now let's say on Mondays, I try to make that like a meetings day or whatever, Basically, you need to refine. If you have a lot of things on here, you just need to refine it down. So I just say, hey, I just want to see meetings. And look, it took out everything but the meetings. And what this lets you do is focus on just the things that you need to, be working on right now. So let's say green is like new customers, or green is, things you need to buy, right? Like let's say you're running your household and you use this as a way to remember to buy certain things. Like if you're making an order, let's say on Amazon or some web store, you can go here and say, hey, what are all the things? So you can look at, instantly filter it so you don't miss anything. And then to clear this, you'll see the filtering is on, and you just hit X, and then everything comes back. So filtering can be a really good kind of thing. You can search by people. So in work environments, like, what cards is Jan working on? If I'm Jan's boss and I just want to check in on the status of her projects, I can do that. Or, I'm trying to think about like a home or life kind of thing. Let's just say you split the duties in your household, and certain things are, your significant others things. You could filter it if you need to check in on something like, let's say they asked you to call the landscaper, and that was their thing. Then you could just kind of filter by them, and then you could find the landscaper. You could also search here, whatever the thing is. Okay. You can also do by due date, which is useful. So like I can just say, hey, show me all the ones that are overdue. And I know like I need to super focus on those things, or do in the next week, do in the next month, whatever it is. I can kind of filter by due date, which is very helpful if you have a lot of things. Filtering is great when you have a whole bunch of stuff on your thing, on your boards and stuff. Next one, Powerups. Okay, so this is the premium bits of it. I think you get one free, and it's loading right now. There we go. And a lot of this is like integration with stuff. The ones that I use pretty frequently is I really like Card Snooze. Okay, so Card Snooze is basically like, let's say that you have something and it gets put on hold. Like, let's say you're trying to schedule a meeting with someone, or get lunch with one of your friends, and let's say they texted you. They're like, hey, I'm on a business trip, or I'm on vacation for another week. Let's get lunch when I get back. You can enable this Card Snooze, and what you do is, I'll just do it. So you can just enable it right here, and you get one. At this point, you get one free, and I think you pay for extras. But I find that one is enough. So I like Card Snooze a lot. So in the example of, let's say we wanted to get lunch with Frank. Okay. So let's say Frank said, hey, I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks to the Bahamas. Let's get lunch when I get back. I say, great. Okay. So I go here, and you notice there's this Powerups thing now. Hit snooze, and I can say, when to come back. And I can just choose a custom date. So let's say 2 weeks from now, here at 12, I'm going to say snooze. And when I do that, it will, it says archived here, but in that it'll come back onto my list at that time. So it gets it out of my site when I can't work on it. So it's not cluttering up things, and it's not bothering me that it's not done. But then it'll come back at the appointed time, and that's super helpful. So the other ones that I really like is the card repeater. So let's say that you do something every single week. For example, let's say you make a shopping list each week, and you do your shopping on Saturday. You can have a new card pop up every single, let's say, Sunday morning. And during the week, since it's popped up, you just add a checklist there that has the things that you need to buy at the grocery store. And it will bring a brand new card every single week on whenever you want. Or if you do repeated tasks at work. Some people like the calendar one, custom fields, if you're in business stuff. I really like this Zapier stuff. It can, for work and business kind of stuff, it's amazing. So you can choose different ones and enable it to whatever. And there's all sorts of ones that integrate, and they're probably going to just get more and more. So that's kind of a nice thing with the Powerups. Stickers, I don't use stickers. I don't really, if you want to use them, okay, great. Maybe for some coding, whatever. So That's like the base things here. Then you can see the activity. So like, let's say, what happened to that card? I thought there was a project that we were working on or whatever. We can kind of see what happened. So, we can understand and like track down something. So like, where did Meet with Jane go? I can see, Ryan archived Meet with Jane 14 minutes ago, and I can click it and there it is. So that's kind of helpful there. They have this more button, which is settings. So we can do that. We can change the team, whether the card cover images are enabled. That's where the picture thing is there. Commenting permissions, add, remove. This is more for like work and teams and kind of stuff, but it's all there for you to kind of handle. Labels, this is just where you can set them. I usually just do it right from the card, but you can do this globally for that. The archive, you can just click the thing, and I usually just say, hey, move, and you choose where you want it. You hit move, and then it unarchives it and brings it back, and you'll see it's right there at the bottom here. Okay, so that's archiving if you accidentally delete or archive something that you didn't mean to. Email to board settings. Okay. This is like a really useful little tip and trick kind of that I use a lot. So if I just want to, if I'm out and about and I just need to remind myself of something, you can use this email address, right, to email a certain list where a card is created. So in my phone, I have it as a to-do list email. It's just a contact, and I just write Trello to do, and it comes up with this email, and it just comes. So it just kind of adds it to it. So we'll say, it's going to go to my to-do list at the top. Okay, and I've copied this email address, and I'll just put it in there. Oops. Hello, Trello. And I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was sent. All right. So let me go back and bam, look, it's right there. So the subject line of your email will become the name of the card, and the body of the email will go in the description here. And then it just creates a new card just for you. So like I said, if you're out and about and you just want to add something like, I want to read this book, I like this song, a lot of apps will have like a share button. So if like there's something I liked, I can just hit the share on an iPhone or something like that. So that is the menus in Trello. I hope that was useful. This has been Ryan Mitchell with thetinielife.com. Thanks for watching.